welcome back to WRPB. I'm joined in the studio today by Tracy McLeod from Illustrated Properties. Thanks for coming in.
Thank you for having me.
Tracy, tell me what Illustrated Properties is.
Illustrated Properties is a locally owned and operated real estate company. We have over 700 agents that cover most of South Florida.
Fantastic. So, 700 agents, most of South Florida. So you're going from, we're in Port St. Lucie, so
Yes, I mean, our company is as far south as Miami, and we're also up here in some of our newer offices up in the Treasure Coast.
fantastic. Do you deal in real estate or real estate? That's cute. Do you deal in commercial or residential?
I do primarily residential real estate, and our company does primarily residential, although we do have some agents that do work in commercial as well.
So there's been so much fluctuation in the housing markets. People are saying, "Oh no, the houses are going down." Other people are saying they're going up. What direction are we headed in?
I think that, if you look at historically across real estate in general, it is always a good investment for you. And it's something that even when the economy fluctuates a little bit, continues to rise. We've had a little bit of a market correction recently. We've had a lot of new inventory come on the market, and with the higher interest rates and things like that, there's been a little bit of a pause in our buyer activity. But we're starting to see things are picking up again, and actually year over year, we've seen an overall increase in sales. So while it's definitely slowed in comparison to what we experienced the past several years, it is still a very healthy market, and we're continuing to move forward, and people still want to come to Florida. It's a great place to live.
Absolutely. So, for people that have never been through the purchase of a home, walk me through the process. I pick up the phone, I call you, and I say, "Hey, I want to buy a house." What do we do next?
Okay. We figure out, what is it that you are looking for? How are you planning on paying for that? Do you need to work with a local lender, in which case we're putting you in touch with that individual to help to pre-qualify you and just help you figure out what you would be qualified to afford, but also what's comfortable for you to afford. And then we're talking about, what is your lifestyle? What is it that you're looking for? Are you buying your first home and you're looking to just enter the market, or is this maybe a secondary property? Or are you upsizing? You're downsizing? So we figure all that out. We find location and whatever your needs are, and then we proceed forward from there.
So, when you're recommending housing, obviously you're looking at how much somebody can afford. Do you generally pre-qualify somebody for a mortgage before you start looking, or do you, what do we do?
Yeah. So generally, yes, we're going to, work. I'm going to work with my local referral partners with lenders, and find a good fit for that individual, and have you speak with them first to, go through your credit history and your income and things like that. And yes, help to pre-qualify you prior to going out and look for a home.
So, what kind of additional expenses are we looking at when I'm buying my house? I know there's closing costs and things like that. So, when I'm walking in, if this house is listed at
Mm-hmm.
$350,000, that's not all that I'm paying, correct?
Um, as a buyer, the $350,000, if that is what you end up at your purchase price for, you have that cost. If there is a loan, then there are the loan origination fees, and generally the real estate commissions are in general paid by the seller, but basically it's paid by the transaction. It's
Mm-hmm.
built into the market price, so to speak. So yeah, you would have some loan origination fees. You may have some prorations for taxes and things like that, HOA fees. You'll need to bind insurance, so you'd have an initial insurance cost.
Mm-hmm.
But generally, if you're doing a mortgage, that is all spelled out for you, and you're able to kind of have a very strong idea of what you need to bring to the table. The other, optional, or I would say negotiable item is who pays for the title costs. So there may be some costs associated with that as well.
Sure. So it's not, I'm walking in thinking I'm just going to sign over my amount to you and then get blindsided. I know things up front.
Yes. I mean, real estate is probably one of the biggest transactions and, most important transactions that you're going to do. And we're making sure that you are understanding the process from the very beginning. And that my job, as I see it, is to help make that as stress-free and as surprise-free as possible.
Sure. So now let's flip the coin.
Yep.
And now I want to sell my home.
Okay.
What kind of things do I need to look at when I'm getting ready to list?
When you're getting ready to list, I mean, the reality is everyone has a used home that they've been living in, and maybe you've kind of learned to live with like the jiggly doorknobs or a window that doesn't quite open or things like that. Always a good idea to kind of walk into your house with and look at it from a buyer's perspective, as if you were going out for the very first time to look at the house and look at what they might see. So maybe there's some clutter that needs to be cleaned up. Maybe we take down a lot of the personal things, because now when you're transitioning to selling your house, it goes from being your home that you're living in and you love, and that's what you're supposed to be doing, to your asset that you are now trying to appeal to someone else. So
Right.
It's always a good idea to look at your home from the eyes of the buyer. Are there, paint colors that are very specific that maybe could be neutralized? Are there little things that could be fixed that you've lived with? And the nice thing about having a real estate agent, especially an experienced and successful real estate agent, is they can come and help you and put those eyes on that and say, here are some of the things I would suggest we do.
Sure.
Maybe even consider having an inspection ahead of time so that you discover some of the things that maybe you didn't know were happening in your house. Maybe you have a small roof leak that's over in a soffit that you haven't seen and you've just been living with, because oftentimes those are things that come up as surprises to even the sellers when they get under contract. So it's always a good idea to have those little things fixed before you get started.
So a home inspection is required for selling?
Actually, home inspection it's a contingency that's offered in the contract. So most buyers, and I always recommend my buyers that they do a home inspection when they're under contract for a home, because again, that's going to, you can walk into a house and you might see a cracked tile, or you might see that there's something that you may or may not want to have fixed, and you're factoring that into your price when you're making the offer. But there's a lot of things that you don't know about. What's happening with the electrical systems? What's happening with the HVAC? What's happening with the roof structure? And those are all big, important items.
Sure.
And so it's important to have an inspection. And there is a contingency period for that, where you're able to bring in an inspector to do a thorough look at your house, and then you're able to decide, are there items that I would like to negotiate because they do need to be fixed? Is everything okay? Or are there things that I can, do myself?
So, and I don't know why I would not follow your advice, but I decide, you know what? I'm just going to look around. I like the house. It's mine. Here's the money. We sign our papers. I own the house. And now I realize the roof leaks. That's my problem now.
It is your problem now. Yes.
So, the home inspection process is pretty important.
It's extremely important. Yes. It's always a good idea to be able to go in eyes wide open with what you're purchasing. And again, it's up to buyers and sellers, to work with their agents to negotiate how that's going to look when we get to the closing table. Is there something that needs to be fixed? Is it something that the seller is willing to fix, and is this something that the buyer, is happy with when they get to the closing table?
So when we're at the closing, if there is that leaky roof,
Mm-hmm.
I can choose to either say, hey, seller, you're going to have to fix that leaky roof before I sign these papers, or let's talk about some pricing changes and I'll take care of the
Right.
roof. So there's,
It's not at that is not done at the closing table. It's done during your inspection period.
Mhm.
So when you go under contract, your contract specifies that you have mutually agreed upon an inspection period. That can be anywhere from 3 days to 15 days. 15 days is standard in the contract. Often we shorten that up, and it could even be a little bit longer if the circumstances warrant that. So during that period of time, you're bringing in your inspector, you're finding out, are there any issues that we need to discuss, like a roof leak? It's during that time that you are negotiating
Okay.
between buyers and seller. Now, if there's something that the seller has agreed to fix, or if everything is fine and you're ready to go, when you get to closing, you do have a final walkthrough, and you're expecting that the house is still in the same condition as when
Sure.
you went under contract. If there were inspection items that needed to be addressed, those have been addressed. Typically, you have proof ahead of time, or you can even bring your inspector back in. And then, are there any new surprises, like maybe a water main is broken or something like that?
Oh.
Those are things that would delay a closing, and we need to have it fixed. But generally, you expect that you're going to come in and see the home in the same condition that you purchased, that you looked at it when you went under contract.
Sure. So everything's wonderful, beautiful house, everybody's happy. What's the general time frame from viewing to closing?
It's typically different for every single buyer and seller, depending on what what the circumstances of the purchase are. But I would say, once you've found the house and you go under contract, generally you can expect to be closing anywhere within 30 to 45 days. But we've certainly had contracts that are longer that everyone has agreed to, and we've also had it done within just a couple of weeks.
Oh,
Yeah.
fantastic. There's so much information, I'm sure, that you could share with me, but we're coming to the end of our time. Tracy, how do people find you?
They can either contact me via email or my website. My email is tmacleod, MACLEOD, at ipre.com, or my website is tracymacleod at ipre.com.
Fantastic.
Thank you.
That information will be on the screen for you as well. Folks, make sure that you have a professional when you are looking into buying a home. There are certainly those people out there for sale by owner, but, it's important. This is a big investment in your life, and it's important that you have the right person behind you, making sure that all your I's are dotted and your T's are crossed, and protecting you in this valuable purchase for you and your family. Thanks for coming in, Tracy.
Thank you very much. Thank you for having me.
You bet. We'll be back.